Hey everybody. I want to talk to y'all about Waitr. As I explained in my other video, I work for Waitr a little bit over a year now. I started last year in August, and today it is September 20 something, 26 or something. So I've been working with Waitr for a long time. I want to talk about Waitr a little bit, give y'all an introduction to it. Waitr is an app company. Of course, you're picking up deliveries, you're dropping off to people's house. Okay, when you work for Waitr, you're pretty much, you're an employee. Okay, so you don't have too much freedom. You have freedom to make your own schedule. You do have that, but you make your schedule in blocks. So the blocks are between 2 hours to 5 hour shifts. And you can do as many shifts as you want. You can do like an 8 to 12 and come back and do a 1 to 5 and then come back and do a 6 to 10. It's up to you how long you want to work. But you have those blocks to schedule. Once you schedule those blocks, if you've worked for any other app company, sometimes when you schedule a block, you can kind of get out of it, just drop them. And you'll be penalized with the other companies, but you have that allowance to do that. This company, you kind of don't. You don't have that option to just drop it if you just don't feel like going to work. You can drop it if it's an emergency, but when you have an emergency, you have to submit some kind of documentation. It's like a job, okay? With Waitr, you get paid, it's $5 an hour, and you mostly work off of your tips. Okay, I guess the $5 kind of make up, I guess, for gas and mileage, but you mostly work off your tips. Some days your tips will be great, some days your tips won't be that great. When you're working on the platform for Waitr, you are expected to be working. Let me explain. When you're on the schedule, if you're not getting deliveries, they will give you deliveries. They will assign you deliveries, which could be a good and a bad thing depending on how you like to work. If you like a hustler, that won't really bother you. If you just kind of like, I just want to kind of roll around and, no. When you're rolling around, they will give you a delivery whether you want to go or not. Okay? And sometimes if you don't want to go to a certain spot, they'll work it out with you, and things like that. But Waitr, you an employee, so you have like little bosses that's gonna tell you, hey, I need you to go to this location. It's not really optional. You have to go. You're the closest one there. I need you to go, and you just have to go. You have to just suck it up and go, and just take one for the team. Okay, so if I clock in to work a 2 to 5 shift, I am expected to be working at that time, and if I'm not working, they will give me work to do. And which it could be a good thing too, because when they schedule, they're allowed to give you 2 up to 3 orders at a time, which you can't do that. You can only do 1 order at a time. So if there's a restaurant order, you're there and they have like 2 other people that food is there and you're going in the same direction, they can give you 2 or 3 of those orders at the restaurant. Sometimes they'll give it to you in different restaurants, but the restaurants will be closed, or to be close. The second restaurant may be close to your first customer's house. I hope you understand what I say. They kind of do sound confusing, but they try to keep you in close proximity. They don't try to get you driving all over the place. So sometimes the order stacking can be good because it's more money. But you basically working off your tips. You do get $5 an hour, which is decent, because I know people want more. Of course, we all want more. $5 is not enough, but if you're hustling, if you're doing 2-3 deliveries per hour, and then Waitr in my market, which I'm in Texas, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they automatically, like if the customer, let's say a customer tip you $2, they automatically try to make up for your $2. So they try to not make up for your $2. They try to make everybody like almost give you like $5 per customer. So if a customer gives you $1.50 for your tip, they'll go and put the extra $3-4 on there for you to equal up to $5 per customer. So if you're working Thursday through Sunday, and they do it because that's like the busiest time, that's when they really need people, so it's like an extra incentive. So if you're working on those days, if you're doing 3 deliveries within an hour, which I have done before, I've done 4 in 1 hour before, 4, and that's $20 worth of customers. You really, I mean, you don't get to see your tip of what they're paying. Like, you don't get to see your customer's tip until the end of the day is all total. And so if the customers are tipping small that day, and I did 4 deliveries, that's $20 plus my 5, so I made $25 within 1 hour. So you have to, with Waitr, you're more so, you're doing a lot of hustling. So my key, if you're kind of like me, and you have like that entrepreneurial spirit where you kind of don't like to be, like, I guess, on a chain or on a leash, or you don't want to be controlled as far as your schedule, I would just pick, if you were to work for Waitr, I would pick like small shifts, like 2 hours here and there, or 3 hours here and there. You know, I would do something like that, and that way you kind of have a little bit of freedom. You know, after your 2 hours, you can work your other apps or what have you, you know. But Waitr is a good company. The only con that I would have to say is that you're an employee, and that's something I was trying to get away from, because I'm trying to, you know, do my own thing. But it's still a good little extra money you can be making, because in my region, Waitr is the #1 app company that people use. You go ahead. Waitr is the #1 app company that people use. So here, Waitr is very, like, the company, they're very busy. You're not going to be just having a ton of slow moments. Maybe early in the morning, because I've worked like 8 to 1 shifts before, which I stopped doing that, because between 8 and 10 is pretty slow. You know, unless you're just hanging around like some of the breakfast spots, like IHOP, those pancake little restaurants. If you're hanging around there in those little donut shops, you'll have deliveries. But if you like me, I start from my house, and I kind of just lounge around my house until an order pops up. So if you're doing that from 8 to 10, you're kind of just making an extra, a free $10 if you think about it. Because I've sat in the house from 8 to 11 one time and extra $15. But just on the days that I don't feel like hustling and I'm tired, or I may not feel good, you know, or I've been having car problems, I don't try to be doing a lot of driving around extra. So I said in my other video, when I work 20 hours, I usually make somewhere between $270 and somewhere around maybe $400. When you're making $400, that's the days that I'm like super hustling on my 20-hour platform. Now that I've become full-time, I haven't been doing a ton of hustling. I've given a lot of shifts away. You can make anywhere between $600 to $800 a week, and you do get paid every Friday. So $600 to $800 a week is not bad, you know, especially if you know how to finesse. You have to know how to finesse. Y'all need to get those apps where you get points off. I have a Kroger's card. I get points off with Kroger's. Like, you need to learn how to save on gas. They have like little apps. They got one called Get Upside. Get those apps and get you some fuel points. They used to have Macy's. Macy's used to give you fuel points. If you're doing this kind of job, save on your gas. What else? You are allowed to give your shifts away. You have to make your schedule. I know in my region, every region is different, I believe. But in my region, we do our schedules every Tuesday. So you have to make your next week schedule finish. So like today is Tuesday. So I would have to get my full 20. I'm a part-time. If I signed in as a part-time worker, okay? Part-time, your minimum hours every week is 20. If you're full-time, it's 30. So I'm still part-time. I can work 40 hours if I wanted to, but I signed in for 20, and then I just kind of grab other people's shifts throughout the week. So that gives me a little bit more freedom to say, do I want to go today? No, because I do still do like a home health job. I have other things that I do as well. So if I make my 20 hours, let's just say the next week I'm like, I think I want to work this other job, or I think I want to try some other app companies or something. I would go in my schedule, and I would release my schedules to other people to pick them up. Other people usually pick it up if you put your schedules out early enough. Like if I do a Tuesday, I usually wait till about Friday to release my schedule, because if your schedule is not full, probably by Friday, the manager, they will give you a schedule, and it'll be according to your availability. If you say I can work 9 to 5, they'll give you a schedule between 9 to 5 to complete your 20 hours. So if I only put 15, or sometimes I've had this happen in the past where they usually fix it, but I try not to even talk to the managers too much because I know they got other things to do. So usually what I do is, like, if I signed up for 20 hours and if I would have released my schedule like Wednesday, if I say, okay, I just want to release all my shifts, all of them, and somebody take one of my schedules, they take 5 hours away from me, by Friday, I've had in the past where the manager would make my schedule, they would make up them 5 hours for me. And I would say, dang, I had my 20 hours, but I guess they have so many employees, they may not have seen, they may just think that you hadn't finished your schedule. So what I've done, I will wait till Friday to see if I want to release any schedules. But I would suggest that if you know you don't want to work a certain day, that you release that schedule way ahead of time so that people can pick it up. Because if you do it last minute, you almost have to pay people to work for you. Because I've had to do that in the past. Like if I had if I was sick and I knew I wasn't sick enough to go to the hospital, I would pay somebody $10, $15 to work for me, a little gas money. And that's also another way you can work too. I've made some side hustle money doing that. I know one week this girl wanted me to work for her, all her schedule, and I was free that week. I made like an extra $100 just in gas, in gas money from them not wanting to work. So that's an extra little side hustle that you can do with Waitr. I don't really do it as much as I used to. I just kind of take the shifts as they come. I don't be trying to really get people to give me money all the time. But yeah, y'all, that's the gist of doing Waitr. I'm trying to think of anything else. As I said, if you can't go to work, you can call in. Don't get me wrong, you can call in, but you will have to submit a document. It's not like if your car broke down, you need to submit a receipt of some sort, whether it's a towing receipt, whether it's a receipt that you bought a part for your car. It needs to be a receipt to show that why you didn't go to work that day. So y'all, that's all I can think of with Waitr. As I said, it's $5 an hour. Thursday through Saturday is $5 per customer that you get. So that's the days you really, really want to be hustling. The other days you kind of just work off of the tips. Sometimes the tips are pretty good. I've had like $80 days. I never had 100 yet, but I've had like $80 days just on the tips. That's not including like my hours that I work. The little $5 little incentive is not including that. And also Waitr do incentives. They do like if you've been working for them for a while and you really hustling, they'll acknowledge you and they'll give you like $250 in gas money and things like that if you've been really hustling for them. So they give incentives, so you don't really have to worry about the gas. So this is for the people that do like to work from their cars. If you have a good car, I wouldn't suggest if you got like old raggedy car to be trying to do it, because a lot of people complain about wear and tear, and that's what I wouldn't do it. If you got like a nice decent car, at least it's running. Like I don't have a brand new car. I have like my car is in the early 2000s, but it runs good. If you got a car like that, you'll do fine. So I'm gonna end this video because I gotta get to this ATM. So y'all have a blessed day. Bye.